So many people spend years of their lives doing the wrong things, looking in the wrong places for writing success. Do you feel like you're do you feel like you're wasting time looking for the wrong answers? There must be some secret that best-selling authors know, something that no one else knows. Well, there is, and it's called the Flamafluma. So, let's head into the storm. Okay, right. Hello, writers, and welcome to Spooky Writes. My name's Kemal, Onor, and I'm a horror short story author. And although I'm not a New York Times bestselling author yet, I am going to help save you years in your writing time. I'm going to speed up the process for you. So if you like this type of content, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. Help spread this channel. It means a lot. Now, I'm sure many of you are wondering, what's a Flamafluma and how can it help speed up my writing process? Well, here's the secret. The Flamafluma is a made-up thing. That's right, it doesn't exist. But how is this still supposed to help me in speeding up my writing process? How is it going to help save you years in your writing journey? Well, if it doesn't exist, then how is it supposed to help me? How is it supposed to help you speed up your writing process? Well, the trick is that the Flamafluma is a thing that doesn't exist, but it's something that everyone who starts writing, everyone who begins the writing journey, at some point in time, they begin to hunt for this Flamafluma. And by the way, the spelling for Flamafluma is... And the reason why this doesn't exist is because there is no such thing as a perfect story. There's no such thing as a perfect novel. No novel is going to appeal to everyone. No story is going to appeal to everyone. That's why there are so many authors. That's why there are hundreds of thousands of authors. That's why there's unique voices. And so you need to understand that the moment that you stop hunting for some secret trick, some code that's going to break you into the New York Times bestselling list, you're going to speed up your own journey. You're going to speed up your own process when you realize that the only things that you have to be focusing on is writing as much as you possibly can and reading as much as you possibly can. The more reading that you do, the stronger your voice will get. The more writing that you do, the stronger you will become as an author. I guarantee you this. So stop wasting your time hunting for some cheat code, some trick, some hack, something that you think that big publishing authors have some trick. There is no grammar rule that's called the Flamafluma. There's no secret code that if you use this Flamafluma trick at this given point, it'll work 100% of the time. It doesn't work like that. Writing needs to be a personal experience, just like how reading needs to be a personal experience. And that's what makes writing so beautiful, is that writing is a journey for everyone who comes to the page, for every person who sits down and to the blank page and tries to put words onto paper. It's a very personal journey. It's a personal experience, and it's the same way with reading. You could have 100 people read the same book, and each person could take something different away from that book. And so it's the same way with if you're looking to go into a college program. There's not one school is not going to say, now that you're a student here at our prestigious academy, we're going to teach you about the Flamafluma rule. It just doesn't exist. And if there was something that existed to this extent, it would be common knowledge, and every book would be very generic. Every book would be the same way. It would open with the same line. It would have the same inflections to it. But we don't see this at all. Every book is unique. Every author is unique. Every author has his or her own unique voice, their own style, and this is what you need to be focusing on. So by focusing on trying to develop your voice, trying to develop your own story and your own storytelling ability, you're going to vastly improve, and you're going to save years of your time trying to hunt for some easy solution to improving your writing, because writing is not easy. Writing is a challenge. It's a difficult task. A lot of people assume that writing is easy because you do it sitting down, but this is not the case. You can spend years and years of your life working on novels that will go nowhere. And so again, I highly promote and highly recommend that you start with short stories, because again, short stories are going to help you. You're going to be able to practice so much more in a much shorter period of time. You're going to be able to put characters in 100 situations as opposed to one situation that you have to follow from start to end over the course of 100,000 words or more. And so a short story, you can write a short story in a day, you can write a short story in a week. And again, you're going to be strengthening your voice, you're going to be strengthening your abilities as an author. The more that you write, the more that you work, and the more that you study, and the more that you focus on the act of improving yourself as an author. You need to be critical about what you're writing. You need to be critical about the work that you're reading. It doesn't do you much good to read the same book over and over again unless you're hyper fixated on what this author is doing that makes you want to read this book over and over again. And I've talked several times about how reading in my journey of writing, reading for me is almost ruined, because I can no longer just simply enjoy writing for the sake of enjoyment. The moment that I fall into the fictive dream, I end up finding myself going, wait, what is the author doing here that is making me fall into the fictive dream? How is the author manipulating me? How is the author making me feel these emotions that I'm feeling in this text at this point? What tricks, and I don't mean to be saying tricks like it's a haha fooled you, but what about this author's language is this author implementing that evokes this kind of emotion from me? And so when you start looking at texts critically and you start asking those questions, it's going to help you, it's going to help save you so much time in your own journey, as opposed to trying to hunt down some elusive trick, some vague stylistic choice that's going to suddenly make your writing that of a New York Times bestselling author. And so yes, the Flamma Fluma is a made-up thing. It's a thing that, for me, it encapsulates that idea when people will ask me, oh, how do you start a story? Or what's a trick? There must be something that you learned in your creative writing classes. And the truth is that creative writing classes don't teach you a lot. They teach you how to be critical, they teach you how to analyze text, and they teach you how to ask these questions on your own. They teach you how to dissect and analyze what an author is doing. They allow you to see the scaffolding behind the page. They allow you to see the scaffolding behind the sentences. They allow you to understand syntax and allow you to understand the art of writing and the art of storytelling at a much deeper level. So this is what you need to be focusing on. So don't worry about trying to find some secret code, some technique that all New York Times best-selling authors use this same 3-act structure. They use the Flamma Fluma rule that has this weird way that suddenly propels them into stardom, because again, the Flamma Fluma does not exist. It's a made-up thing. So the real secret that's going to help accelerate your growth as an author is read as much as you can, write as much as you can. And again, it's typically worded as read a lot and write a lot. And it's said that way specifically because a lot is an arbitrary term. What's a lot to you at your current stage of being an author or your current stage of being a writer is going to vary. It's going to change as you mature. It's going to change as you start reading harder and more complicated texts. So that language is purposely used a lot, and people will say, what is a lot? Let's define a lot. Well, a lot is going to be different from person to person. What's reading a lot to a third grader as compared to reading a lot as an adult? Well, we know that the average American reads maybe one book a year. So as an author, you should be reading as many books as you possibly can. And I strongly suggest that you read outside your genre, read as widely as you can. If you're a fiction author, read nonfiction. If you're a nonfiction author, read fiction, read poetry, read as much as you possibly can. Because when you consume words and you consume language, it's going to be part of your tool belt. It's going to be a part of you as an author, and you'll be able to draw on these pieces and these nuggets, and they'll add so much to your own work, and they'll inspire you to create your own work, and you need to be inspired. Remember, if you're waiting for inspiration to be a writer, you're not a writer, you're a waiter. But I often enjoy when someone asks me, Kemal, how do you write a short story? How do you write the best novel? Or when someone says, I'm working on a novel and I'm not sure what to do in this chapter, I'll get really quiet and I'll say, well, have you tried using the Flamafluma? And they'll go, what's the Flamafluma? And I'll just kind of laugh to myself because I know that this is a made up nonsensical word that I invented. So, trademark, TM, make sure that you share. So make sure that you spread the word to your other writing friends who haven't seen this video yet. Make sure that you tell them that the number one way that they can improve their writing is to use the Flamafluma rule. And with that said, thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep it spooky. And then, of course, here's your writing prompt for sticking all the way to the end. Outside, the dogs were barking, so Sally decided to blank. So set your timer and start writing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.